What's going on, everybody? Grim Repair here. Today we're working on a 2000 Bayliner with a 3.0 Mercruiser. We're getting a little bit of water leakage down here. I suspect it needs a water pump. You're going to need a couple simple hand tools, and there'll be links in the description for all the parts used in the video. First we're going to do is remove these while the belt is holding it in place. It's a 1/2 inch. Just need to loosen them. Now we're going to take tension off the belt. Half inch. One down here is a 9/16. Slide that out of the way. All right, we're taking a 3/4 inch wrench, pulling off this nut here to see if we can get a little more room. For whatever reason, that pulley won't fit in between. Came off just fine, but throw some towels down here to try and catch some of the water. If it leaks out, you should just be able to pull your plug at the back of the boat and drain it out, but pull this hose clamp off. It's a 5/16. Feels kind of crunchy. Alright, now we're going to remove the 4 bolts that are on the front of the water pump. They're 1/2 inch. I like to put them in as I pull them out. Sometimes they're going to be longer than the other ones next to it. You need to know where they go. It should just come right off. Just prying it up against the engine block right in here. And you can tell right here where it's been leaking. Oh, yeah. Alright, this is the most time consuming part of this, is scraping off the old gasket. I'm just taking a scraper blade and going along and scraping it clean, not gouging the sealing surface so you don't go nuts. Gonna do that, then we'll put it back on. All right, now we've spent about 30 minutes going around cleaning this up with a razor blade. It doesn't need to be shiny, but it does need to be smooth. You shouldn't feel anything on there. And then we wiped it down with a towel, made sure there's no water in there that's gonna get on the silicone that we're gonna put on this gasket. Our water pump came with a gasket, and we're going to use some of this water pump and thermostat gasket maker. It is better than regular silicone, and we're just going to put a real thin layer around both sides of the gasket. We're going to set it on the water pump. It's going to kind of hold it in its place and give it a better seal for any imperfections that might be there. I'm just going to go around and put a real thin layer on it. Alright, we've got a thin layer of silicone on both sides of this gasket. Now we're going to just slide it back into place. I'm going to take a bolt from each side. Get that on there so it's not pushing it away from the block. the bolt started here on this bottom side and one up here on this top side, just to kind of line everything up. I'm gonna get them all started. And tighten them in a crisscross pattern evenly. So do that one a little, do this one a little, till it sits down flat against the engine. You don't need to put silicone on the threads of the bolts. They're blind holes. They don't go all the way through into the water jacket. I don't know the torque specs on these, but I'm just going snug, not going super crazy. If I can figure it out, I'll put them here somewhere on the video. All right, spin that, make sure it's not crooked and bound up somehow. Wipe the silicone off of there. Slide this hose clamp back into place. Now I think you got to pull the belt up and over before you put the pulley on. I don't think it's going to fit in between this motor mount and the pulley. It's a pretty tight fit.
On the other end.
What? No, it won't fit. All right, we're taking a 3/4 inch wrench, pulling off this nut here to see if we can get a little more room. For whatever reason, that pulley won't fit in between. Came off just fine, but all right, we got the nut off. It was a 3/4 inch. See what happens. There we go. Got it in there. Get this belt out of the way now. Come on. It'd be a good time to replace the belt, but then you're gonna have to pull this. Get it lined up. Get these bolts started. Just enough, yeah.
You don't torque those, huh? It's supposed to be easy so you didn't rip them.
All right, we're gonna put that nut back in there. Slide the belt back over on the back pulley of the crank and the back pulley of the water pump. Alright, I'm sticking this down here into the block and pulling it that way. Put some tension on the alt. That's too much. A little less. Little less. The mark was right there, so it was not even that tight, but the belt's probably wore out a little. So I'm gonna go a little tighter than it was before. Just a 1/2 inch, tighten that one down. And then we got a 9/16 on the one down below. And now that the belt is there holding this pulley from spinning, we can go ahead and finish tightening down the water pump pulley bolts. Kind of push on this at the same time and it'll keep it from spinning. And that should be it for the water pump replacement. If you got a hose connection, you can start it up and test it and check for leaks. I would let the silicone dry for a day just to be extra safe. Or if you got to take it out on the lake to get the water flowing through it, just keep an eye on it. And that's it. High five, you did it.